What's going on, guys? We want to talk about, we have a special guest coming in today, Pod Guide Fugues, aka Austin. He's coming in from Chicago to talk about a potential deal that he has spoken about through his Twitter and through his podcast. Check those out on Twitter at LCL or LSL_pod and really _TPod.
Oh, so, yeah, the reality pod. You don't have to mention that one, but that one's, I don't think too many of your listeners are going to like that one. But if you're into Bachelor and Amazing Race Challenge and stuff like that, yeah, reality pod's for you.
But yeah, sweet. Jump into what you had, this kind of happened all very fast. I kind of saw your tweet and I was like, dude, I want to talk to this guy. I want to know, because I have people that I know through my football connections and stuff like that, through my career and my time, that I can reach out to and have connections, or guys that know guys, or guys that played with this guy. So you kind of talked about it today, that everyone kind of puts everyone down about having sources and all that crap, which I agree with.
Something I don't, you don't, I mean, here's the thing. For me, this is a close friend of mine, and I just got lucky. Like, it's one of those things where I have a close friend. He works for a news company. They get their source from a super reputable person directly. And then he usually texts me that if it's any Bears stuff. So, and like Leonard Fournette, I was right on top of Leonard Fournette, which was pretty cool. I mean, it's a cool experience if you have like an inside guy. I hate the term sources because
I agree.
There's that like fake that stuff where like, oh, per sources, and they're just
it's bullshit.
But my guy, my buddy, I was right on top of the Leonard Fournette stuff, thanks to him. Carson Wentz, he gave me, I was wrong. He gave me a package at the Bears sent over that was obviously ultimately wrong. I think, now I could have been just wrong, but I also think the Eagles were leaking trade.
I was going to say that.
I agree.
I think you're absolutely correct about that.
Yeah, that happened. But after that, he gave me 2 bits of information about the Colts having an aggressive offer and the Colts being number 1, which ended up being correct. True. 5-6 days later. So I'm trusting him. I'm rolling with it. But the thing you don't prepare for is the people that you get so much hate from it, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So much hate from it. So, and I understand there's people out there who there are tons of people out there who do it for clout. And for
I took it as a chance. I swung. We're swinging for the fences. We're both relatively under the radar. You having a little bit more experience in this than we do. We're brand new, but we're having a blast with it. So I took the shot in the dark, and I think it's a great story to roll with too, to introduce 2 kind of demographics too. For both sides of us. So
and if this deal does get done too, we'll have to bring you guys on the pod to talk a little about Russ and all that. But basically getting into kind of what I tweeted out, it matches up with a lot of what we heard previously, a lot of what we're hearing now the last couple of days, starting with the fact that number one, the Bears are willing to give up literally anybody. I don't think anybody's not on the trade block for this trade. It also seems like Seattle, who has been fielding calls lately, according to a couple different sources.
We have been hearing that.
Seattle has been asking for a ton of names. And I listed the names in the tweet. It was Khalil Mack. Robert Quinn was in there, which a lot of people were very surprised about, including myself. I would be very surprised if you guys actually wanted to
terrorized the Seahawks for many years.
That is right. That is right. He totally flopped, and then he came out. He had drop foot too. So I don't know how many teams are going to be wanting to come out with that. But essentially, what he told me. Let's see, Quinn, Jalen Johnson. I think if a deal's done, Jalen Johnson will be involved. Khalil Mack, 2 firsts is what I was told, but I think you could even get more than that.
From what the reports that we're reading and the stuff that I've been seeing, it's minimum. This conversation starts at 3 1s, but that is subject to change. Obviously,
depends what you're getting for talent.
I'm wondering I'm wondering the players. I think it just depends. Let's see what else I have here. Deals made likely closer to the draft, which we heard today that if Deshaun Watson is dealt from Adam Schefter, he said this earlier. If Adam Schefter is dealt.
Yeah, we got you.
Go ahead.
Traded. If he's traded to ESPN, no, I'm just kidding. But if Russell Wilson is dealt, it would be closer to the deadline because the Texans, if they're going to trade, it's going to be right before the draft. And what we also heard today was the Bears are looking like they're going to wait until they know for a fact that Deshaun Watson's off the market and then go try to get Russell Wilson. So if this is to happen now, again, this could happen tomorrow. This could happen in an hour. It could happen in a couple months. We really don't know. But From what people are hearing, what I'm hearing, what others are kind of tweeting out, it's looking like if this trade is going to happen, it's going to take fruition more down like a couple weeks from now.
Closer to the draft.
Closer to the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Bears, again, just I directly quoted it from what he told me. The Bears are the number one landing spot for Russell Wilson at this very moment in time, which would make sense. There's no buzz around any other team.
Yeah, there's no real like New Orleans is
now we see
making,
New Orleans clearing cap space and stuff. So
they want to talk about Ramczyk and they're talking about Lattimore as extensions.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for me, unfortunately for that situation, I think if that deal gets done to the New Orleans Saints, I think that's an absolute terrorizing team.
Oh yeah.
If Russ goes down there to New Orleans,
you got Taysom Hill down there too. So
it would be a nightmare to give Sean Payton somebody who can do that, do the things that Russell Wilson does. But I also think that Ramczyk or Lattimore would need to be a part of those deals to get Russ to New Orleans. So I don't, and if they're talking extensions with both of those guys, then I don't think New Orleans has the capital. Drew Brees is talking about a comeback. I mean, the teams that Russ is mentioning.
Yeah, and to not let him retire as a Saint if he wants to play again is going to be like criminal. So
the freaking mayor's over here talking about like just punted him out, like didn't even give him an opportunity. She's over here selling Russ and Sierra on New Orleans already without even giving Brees a chance. Yeah,
from Chicago. No, but yeah, I mean, it's funny because you look at the Bears community out here and everyone's like, I will never play Future again on my playlist. Like I won't play Sierra. It's just like,
it's funny to watch other fan bases.
Yeah, well, especially a fan base. It's
guys,
funny
right?
because and Adam Schefter said this today, but it's nothing but the truth. If the moment Russell Wilson, if he is traded to the Bears, the moment that he would be traded to the Bears, he becomes the best QB in franchise history. In Chicago, we suck. Yeah, I'm sure to God,
Rexy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Rexy, Jay Cutler. I mean, our best quarterback in franchise history is Jay Cutler.
I love Jay Cutler.
And Sid Luckman from like the 1930s. So
Smoking Jay.
Yeah, Smoking Jay and Sid Luckman. That's about it.
Oh my God!
Well, so we would give up.
Jim McMahon was awesome.
Somebody. That's what I'm thinking of. Jim McMahon.
Jim McMahon was a good leader, but stat-wise, he wasn't anything wild. He was really good at getting you the dub and literally laying his body on the line. But
how are you complaining about that? Because the rest of your quarterbacks can't get any dubs.
Oh, I'm not complaining. He brought a Super Bowl home. I just wasn't alive for it. I just wasn't alive for it. So
I did get to bear witness.
I can't I can't witness to that. But
and then we're gonna trade away the only Super Bowl we have in franchise history and our leading franchise quarterback. Our best quarterback that Matt and I have ever watched.
You got a Super Bowl out of it, or two? One?
No, we got one.
Went to two. Got one.
Oh, should have been
one,
two.
and then he threw.
Should have been two. We won't talk about that.
That was still a good play call.
Still a good play call. Stand by.
Still a good play call. Stand by.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Ultimately, he could go back. I would actually be at this point. I would be more surprised to see Russell Wilson stay than to see him go. But I do also think that they could work it out. But at this point, I don't know. I mean, what's the sense with what you guys are seeing? Like, do you think there's any way to any way to kind of fix this?
Every day's conflicting information.
Yeah.
It's always, if someone's mad at this person, it's this person's fault. Today it's Russ's fault. Tomorrow it's Pete's. It's all over the map. We kind of talked about it on the podcast we'll be dropping this week, but it's just going to be awkward at this point.
That's what I'm
the
feeling.
Egos have all brought in, if he comes into that locker room, at the very least, even if they work through it, it's going to be weird to start.
Yeah.
I think right now, from my perspective, I see if Deshaun Watson comes available, I think he's going to go to Miami. I think that works out better for everybody. So that would leave Seattle left with Chicago. And my only beef with a trade with Chicago is I do not feel as a Seahawk we would get even close to what I would like to see in return. Even if we get your 3 next firsts, see, I don't want Khalil Mack. He's old and he's a big contract.
Yeah, I'm hoping you guys take on Khalil Mack because
exactly. I don't want him.
We've already done this outside linebacker.
It would be. I'm telling you, it would be Jalen Johnson. I think is almost a shoe-in. Depending on which way Pete Carroll might go, you guys very well easily. And I didn't put this in the tweet, but he said Foles could easily be involved with the trade as well. So
that's not enough of a contingency plan for me, right? Like getting.
Well, it would be like, you would have a tough 2021 and then get a draft pick. You'd have 2 firsts for the next 3 years.
If there's a quarterback there, we got to remember, we as Seahawks, we had Matt Hasselbeck, and Matt Hasselbeck was a good quarterback, but he was never anything amazing. Yep. And then we went through the Matt Flynn's, the Charlie
Seneca
Whitehursts,
Wallace.
the Tavares Jacksons, and then we
Yes.
found Russ in the 3rd round, and he was a gem, and he's been.
Then we almost had Matt Flynn.
Yeah,
Don't
we signed
forget
Matt Flynn to that
Flynn.
big deal, right?
And
So
then
then
Matt
after he-
Flynn's
After
team-
he had like what 6 touchdowns in Green Bay that one game.
on
Yeah, he
week
had those
17
couple
when he
good
beat
games.
Detroit or
Thought he was the
something.
next
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Oh my God.
So Seattle doesn't have a history of good quarterbacks. So I worry that if we dish Russ without a solid contingency plan like Deshaun Watson in place, is it going to be 4 or 5 years before we find our quarterback? And is it even going to happen?
4 or
that quick?
5. You're talking.
And in
you're
that
talking
time,
to
there's no
Austin, who's
way
been
lifetime.
we
looking
hold
for the
on.
past-
There's no way we hold on to our fellas. DK's gone if there's not a plan there. DK wants to win. Jamal wants to win. All these young guys that we have that we're trying to build around are not going to hang out. Seattle, like you said you mentioned it earlier about a rebuild. Does Seattle enter a rebuild? No, I think if Seattle tries to enter a rebuild, we enter turning into turmoil franchise for a long time. I don't think it's a quick rebuild in Seattle. If it comes to that, I believe we turn into the New York Jets. I think it's ugly.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I,
can't see
mean,
them
it would be
affording to
tough. And
do
the
that.
other thing too is like Pete wants to pound the rock, obviously too. So the other thing is, you get a running back, and you see how that goes with a functional quarterback. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I really.
I think the team that ran the football or did the best job of running the football this year was obviously Cleveland Browns with that
Mhm.
1-2 punch and Kareem Hunt and what's his nuts there,
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb. Thank you. So. And they still, I mean, they beat the Steelers in the playoffs, which I think
They
the Steelers
played
were a lot
with the Chiefs.
they played with the Chiefs, and that was with Baker Mayfield at quarterback. And Baker's a good quarterback, but he's got some things to prove. And
Don't knock Baker.
I'm not going to knock Baker, but he's not Russell Wilson. And they
No, he's
still couldn't win a Super Bowl with the best running game in the NFL. So yeah, Pete Carroll can run the rock all he wants, get a good running back, get a good offensive line, and we can beat teams up like that. But is that going to win us games in the playoffs and take us to a Super Bowl? I don't
Well,
think so.
Yeah.
Playing defense is controlling the clock.
And playing defense is big too, but you need that guy. Like game managers have won Super Bowls in the past, but not
But with lights out defenses.
with
I mean,
lights out.
you'd also get okay. Let's say this Bears trade goes through. You'd have Jalen Johnson, Jamal Adams, Khalil Mack.
Sure.
Not a bad defense, and then you get someone depending on which way
Okay,
you want to
so
go. You can get
the
Kellen
other-
Mond in the draft if you
The
guys
other
want to
thing
go
I heard
quarterback.
about was
I'm not a fan of Kellen
Hey-
Mond, but I think he can be a pretty good quarterback.
Aik's,
Fill the void.
I can't remember his Akeem Hicks, right?
Mhm.
Out of
Mhm.
Regina, so there's our Canadian connection. So Akeem Hicks is supposed to be a part of this deal too,
Yeah.
is what I'm hearing.
Are you talking about that?
Mac-
Are you talking about that rumors trade?
Yeah.
That guy tweets a lot of baseless rumors, but sometimes he's been right. But I think he just
A lot of
throws shit at
clickbait.
the wall. Yeah, I think he throws shit at the wall, but it could happen. I don't know if I see them giving up Hicks and Mac. However, I don't really
Hicks
care.
is what, 31? 20 years.
I don't know. Hicks is right around 30, but he's got years left. Like the dude's a monster. He's just gonna plug the hole every time he's there. So
Yeah.
he's got a while left as long as he can stay healthy. And Mac is the same way. His production's tailed off a little bit, but he still led the league in pressures
Yeah.
last year. So I mean,
There's
he's
a lot.
still.
There's a lot of.
And then you have a
lot
guy,
of play that
Jamal
stats
Adams,
don't
on the other
show.
side of him. Like, is Mac ever played with somebody of that caliber?
Eddie,
next to him?
Eddie Jackson. You see how good Eddie
Well,
Jackson was.
Eddie Jackson, I would say is right along that that like tier 2 of safety.
Yeah,
I would
I
say
agree.
it would be like Minka up at the
He
top.
stunk last year.
Yeah, there was a lot of problems with. I mean, the fact that you guys haven't re-signed Allen Robinson, who's probably the best receiver I've seen
He's a
on the
monster.
Chicago Bears.
Yeah, he's
been-
that's some other stuff too. He's got all those petty tweets that annoy the hell out of me. But I'm
Carlos
yeah,
Dunlap
I'm
just
all
did
for
the same
signing-
thing to us.
I'm all for signing him back. But I think he's going to get tagged, and I don't think he's going to like it. But the good thing is, if we bring in a Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson, he's not even going to care about the tag.
No, he won't. Not at all. he
So-
would be like, "Thank you."
Finally,
holy crap!
Blake Borders and Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles. That's what
Yeah, I've caught 100 balls from Mitch Trubisky. I'm about to
Yeah.
catch 200 from
he's
Russ.
a
you-
monster.
Do you see Chicago as an immediate Super Bowl contender with either of those guys under center?
No.
I don't see it right now. It's a hard thing
The
to
only
say
thing that
right
would
now.
scare
It's a
me-
lot of
the only-
speculation.
Yeah, it's all speculation. But the only thing that would deter me from saying no, they would be a playoff contender. But they wouldn't
Playoff
be
Yeah.
team,
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't
yeah,
think
yeah.
they'd had the defense to hang. To be
Mhm.
honest with you, I mean, I like they just hired Sean Desai, who I think is gonna be great, But I think ultimately, if you get rid of all these assets, unless you
Mac,
bring in
Johnson.
a free agent and a couple draft picks that really hit home, and they've been
Yep.
doing a good job with that. But if they can't do that, then yeah, they'll have like one of those games in the playoffs where they just like they can't stop the other team. So that's kind of what I'm worried about. But then I think the offense is gonna be fucking insane if you bring in a Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, because then you got Allen Robinson on the tag, you got Darnell Mooney, who's a boss. You got David Montgomery. You got Anthony Miller. You got the revamped offensive line. So you got a lot of weapons on that offense, and then obviously you pair that with a future Hall of Fame quarterback. So
your whole offensive line loses a grade point just because Jermaine Ifedi's there, though.
Yeah,
so.
Jermaine Ifedi is probably the worst Seattle Seahawk ever taken.
You guys, I saw when we picked him up, I saw a lot of like Seattle fans going like, "Good luck, good luck."
Yeah,
God.
That guy's.
It's funny
the most
because
penalized player in history.
Yeah, it's funny because like he wasn't even a focal point last year because we had like Rashad Coward, who was I think one of the worst football players I've ever seen take an NFL field. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. It just depends on what assets are given up, what assets are given back, what the Bears are able to do. I don't know. I mean, they're going to mortgage their future on this, so it better work. It would be such a Bears thing if Russell Wilson comes here and we still suck. I mean, that would just be curse.
I'm not gonna lie, like
That's a Cubs curse.
the petty in me. If Russell Wilson leaves Seattle, I'm not a big enough man to wish him the best.
I don't blame you.
I'd be sour. I would.
I hope you're done.
Yeah, I hope nothing good happens in Chicago. I hope Sierras doesn't record a single song. I hope you win a single playoff game. I hope Future shows up. Ass.
Yeah,
like I don't want nothing good from you, big fella. You fucking broke my heart.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not ready for it.
But yeah, if I lost Russell, I mean, I honestly can't sit here and tell you how I feel because I've never experienced a good quarterback on the team that I love. Yeah.
I think we were just really blindsided by it. It's not like we've had years of turmoil. Yeah, it really did feel out of the blue.
Well, dude, we just won the division.
Well, I was talking to someone about this and I was like, I can't imagine how Seattle fans feel because like after the playoff loss, they're like, all right, we'll just run it back next year. Like we'll be better. We got everybody coming back. Like we'll be good. And boom, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Russ is like, yeah, like nobody listens to me. I don't know if I want to be here. It's just like wild.
And the weird thing is, so when that came out, like I feel like I've just been straddling a fence of whether I'm pro Pete or pro Russ. And every day a new report comes out that makes me cringe about the other. So at this point, it just seems like it's a problem with everybody. Like it's an ego. It's all gotta be ego. And it's just too big on all fronts. So how they resolve it, I don't know.
I'm livid right now at John Schneider for releasing Carlos Dunlap. I'm livid that he couldn't restructure a freaking contract.
Do you guys think they're going to try to bring him back in free agency?
They will try and I assume they will attempt. I don't think Schneider was able to recognize that we needed a pass rusher and make that trade mid-season right before the deadline, which was perfect. So he's not that incompetent at his job.
It's Khalil Mack is coming in.
Stop, please.
It's because Carlos Dunlap is a $14 million cap hit. We're paying him almost as much as Arizona's paying JJ Watt, and he has no dead cap. JJ Watt cut him, and we just opened up $14 million in our cap space. At the end of the day, that's what we did. And if we can re-sign him, great. If not, there's plenty other pass rush talent in this free agent market coming up.
Are we going to sign those pass rush talent?
Okay. Why not?
I just want to say from a pure football fan standpoint, if this trade does go down and Mac is involved, you've got Mac, Donald, JJ Watt and Nick Bosa in one division. That is ridiculous.
Chandler Jones.
I mean, you got insane defensive linemen.
Jamal Adams.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Just, like the talent, the NFC West with Russ there right now is, in my opinion, the best division.
Yes, the NFC West is the best. Probably the best
with
division.
Stafford there too. The Rams are going to be. Yeah. I think the Rams are going to be nuts.
The coaching staff in all those teams, the talent they have, the success they've had. If
San Francisco gets a goddamn decent quarterback, like I'm talking decent, halfway
if they got Nick Foles, they might be dangerous.
Quarterback. Fuck, they could take Trubisky and they'd probably still be a better team than they would be with Jimmy G.
It's a bold take.
I think they could go for a guy like I think they could go for a guy like Jameis Winston.
Yeah, Jameis Winston, he can throw 35 picks, and
I think that would with that
be
defense
better than
they
Jimmy
have.
G.
But and then with the defense, like if Jameis is still, he got laser surgery. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and assume he can differentiate between his team and the defense. Maybe he'll throw less picks, but that San Francisco defense is lights out. So even if there's a bit of a turnover issue, I think that would help to balance that out a little.
Yeah, and also the other thing that's coming out today, Sam Darnold is also very available. So knowing how the Bears operate
Yeah.
over the
When
past
did
couple
that
years,
just come out? Did
they
that just
would-
come out now?
No, man, he's been available forever.
8 different teams have reached out to the Jets. The Bears are involved. I swear to God, if the Bears bring in Sam Darnold before any of this Watson
Oh.
Russell stuff clears up, I will jump off a bridge.
Yeah. I
Jet,
don't blame you.
do me a favor. Can Chicago? That's good. Well, I'm glad that has come out to light.
Yeah,
I think it's going to
so-
be a crazy couple of weeks, and there's
It
just
is.
so much
Yeah.
up in the air right now. Like the whole with Deshaun Watson, with Russell Wilson, we're going to have to wait and see who becomes available in the free agency market and where they go.
Yeah, I mean,
That
we
is
even
gonna be
see,
huge.
we even see. I mean, it's probably going to be made official earlier. Again, another thing I was told today, and again,
Mhm.
could change, but I'm pretty confident with this. The
Are we getting
franchise-
breaking news right now?
I mean, I don't even know if this is breaking news right now, but a couple verified sources have also tweeted this out. The franchise tag is more than likely going to get moved back to next week.
Okay.
So we're going to be seeing we'll be seeing cuts and trades and everything this week, but no franchise stuff really is going to
Okay.
take until this week.
So that pushes everything back a bit.
Yeah, it
Okay.
kind of sucks because basically how it works, because the cap isn't figured out yet, and the cap's based off, how projected, how many fans are going to show up, how much
Yep.
money the teams are going to make, and
Yep.
they haven't made that.
There's
yet.
got to be doctors involved. There's
Yeah,
got to be
and they haven't made that
GMs and
projections yet,
owners. There's so
it
many
looks
moving
like-
parts.
Yeah.
What
So
a time to be alive.
More than likely, they're going to move the back cap or the franchise tag back. Same thing that happened last year.
Cool. Okay.
In different situations, but yeah,
And it gives
I
it gives John time to freaking tag Shaq Griffin.
I kind of wanted it to be tomorrow, so this Allen Robinson shit can just be done. But
Mhm.
Oh, come
It
on.
just brings a bunch of stuff to some conclusion.
going
and
back
actually
down to
progresses the
Jacksonville.
off season. He's going back down.
he's
to
going
Jacksonville.
to play with Trevor.
He's gonna go
Lawrence.
play
I
with
mean,
Trevor Lawrence.
That'd be dope. I would like to see that. If he goes, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
can
fair
say it.
enough.
I can see him going to Baltimore.
Hey, an idea I tweeted out a couple days ago. You tag Allen Robinson, you trade him and Charles Leno for Orlando Brown, and the Bears just lost their tackle
Mhm.
Bobby Macy, so you bring in Orlando Brown to fill that void, and you got your all pro tackle right there.
I want Orlando Brown. Fuck off. But that's a
You
good.
can have
idea.
Orlando Brown, but I want Lamar.
Yeah.
We'll give you Russ.
I'll take that all day.
Oh
my
goodness.
Yeah,
That's a
I
cool
was
tweet.
actually.
That's a cool trade. I like
Yeah.
it.
No, that's not gonna.
that'd be-
No, dude,
no,
we can
what-
get into some wild trades. That's
Yeah.
not happening. They're not. They're talking about getting a contract done with him. So
Orlando Brown?
no, with Lamar.
Oh, yeah,
they're
yeah.
in discussions, but they're far apart, which I don't get. Are they even talking? What do you
I
mean? We're supposed to be
I
far
think
apart.
that's gonna have
social
a lot
distance.
of. Fuck. I think that has a
this-
lot to do with either the term of the contract, whether Lamar wants a shorter contract instead of a long one, and I think there's also the question of whether if you sign Lamar to a long contract, if he can stay healthy and perform. Is he?
He
people
protects himself when he runs. The
No,
ball.
I don't care. People want to say that he's put that issue to bed, and sure, he's done well this long, but can he do that for 7 more years? Can he do that for 5 more years with
How
when
long
the
was
ball at the
Mike
level?
Vick's career?
But Mike Vick can throw the ball.
And you're telling me Lamar Jackson doesn't throw the
Lamar
football?
Jackson doesn't have control over his arm. Lamar Jackson can launch it, but he doesn't. Put
He's
it
still
in the right
younger than
spot.
Joe Burrow.
I'm not saying he can't do it, but I think that the Ravens are concerned. I think that's their only concern. From the Ravens, if I'm in that front office, my only concern is if Lamar
So-
can advance his pass game to continue to contribute in the league as he gets older.
So
You
you're
look at all
telling
these
me-
guys that come into the league and run around. They all slow down as they get older because they learn how to throw the ball. I think they're worried that he's not going to get to that level.
I think this is a conversation for another time.
It's a
Fair
good
enough.
point. I mean, it's good points. You don't know how. I mean, you don't know how someone's passing game is going to develop through the years, especially from a running quarterback. But I mean, we'll see. Lamar.
You're
Jackson,
talking about a guy that's already won an MVP. that
No, I
set
know, I know.
Records.
I'm not
No,
saying
I
that
know.
And-
he comes back. He's going back to
just
But
won an
his
MVP.
legs are-
but when his legs- I
just won
think
an
the thing is,
MVP. That just won his playoff game. He's making strides, and you're over here slagging him because you're
But I
calling him
think
a
that-
running
I
back.
think-
Get him a
I
number
think-
one receiver.
I think the point is if he eventually stops using his legs, can he win with his arm?
Can he make
That's-
up for
that's
it?
the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's not a
I don't
matter
know.
of when he. It's not a matter.
I think
if
it's
he
gonna
stops
happen
using his
eventually,
legs.
but
He's gonna
yeah.
have to stop using his legs. He's gonna hit 30 years old, and he's not gonna run that fast anymore. He's not gonna be able to cut that fast anymore. The age is. Oh, did I cut out?
No,
Nope.
you're here.
The
Oh,
age
sorry.
is
Sorry. The age is gonna. You can't beat time, and it's gonna cause problems in the future. So if he cannot
We'll
elevate
see.
his pass game to compensate for that regression in his run game, then he's no longer that MVP quarterback. If you look at it like a bar, right? If it's 100%, right now he's at 100%. He's a winning quarterback, but that's because he's making up 70% of the plays with his run, 30% with his arm. He's going to have to lower that 70% with his legs. Can he raise his throwing game up to equate 100% at all times? I think that's the question. Can he? I think he's got the talent. He needs a number one receiver and he needs to be coached well. He's definitely able to do it, but I think that's maybe their concern.
I don't know, but there's a lot going on in the NFL now, and we appreciate having you on, Austin. We're gonna let you go. It was because we're running out of time here, but we did appreciate having you on. It was great to get a couple little tidbits, a little news note. We got some breaking news with you, so I'm sure we'll continue to keep interacting through Twitter. If this deal does go through, then we'll have you come on, and you can pop
love to
a
come
bottle
onto
of
your show
champagne.
too.
Yeah, we'll get you guys on too. You guys are dope as hell. So make sure keep in touch. We'll have to do this again for sure.
No doubt.
Appreciate you guys.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Thanks,
have a good one.
You too.
Let's go to eat a goddamn snack.